The NBA is getting absolutely crazy recently. I mean, we've had a lot of teams, reportedly shopping around players. We've had a lot of players reportedly request trades. The trade deadline is coming up, and it hasn't really been exactly too different to the previous years. There's been a lot of trade rumors and trade news, but again, this year is no different. It is really heating up. It is now currently being reported that the Golden State Warriors really want Bogdan Bogdanović, and this is all being reported by Sam Amit. Now, I actually really like this one, comparing it to some others. I think that when we look at Bogey and how his career has kind of gone at, the Atlanta Hawks, it hasn't exactly been a very good thing. I'm very confused on who is Bogdan Bogdanović as a player, and how does he think about his career, mentally. And the reason why I'm kind of asking this question is because it was reported that after his couple of years with Sacramento, that the Milwaukee Bucks were ready to offer him a $20 million or so per year type of deal, which would have got him to the team. He would have been on a contender. They would have, I think it was reported it was going to be Dante DiVincenzo, a couple of role players here and there, and I think a first round pick or something like that. It would be sent to Sacramento. He ended up not agreeing to the sign and trade. Instead, he actually decided to go to the Atlanta Hawks, where he is not even starting. He's run into injuries, and the Atlanta Hawks are nowhere near as good as a team as what the Milwaukee Bucks are. If he did go to the Milwaukee Bucks, which in my opinion he should have, we would have been looking at a very, very elite starting five in the NBA. You would have had Drew Holiday at point guard, Bogey at shooting guard, Chris Middleton at small forward, Giannis at power forward, Brook Lopez at center, with Bryn Forbes, Pat Connaughton, Bobby Portis, PJ Tucker they eventually got, even DJ, Augustine, who was on their list for a little bit now, who's not there. They would have also had him. It would have been a really, really good team to kind of look at it, but yeah, he didn't go there. I really don't know why he decided not to go, obviously, to the Milwaukee Bucks. But again, his career has just kind of gone down a little bit. He hasn't exactly played really that much basketball at all, recently. He's had a lot of injuries this year. If we actually look at his current stats right now with his, new team that he is on, Bogey is currently averaging 9.6 points per game, 3.3 rebounds, 2.3 assists on 32% from 3. He's only played 18 games and he's only started 23 minutes. Now, if we look at, the other season, he was averaging 15 points per game from 37% from 3 on 29 minutes per game. And if he went to the Bucks, I would believe he would probably be averaging about 16 right now on about 33 minutes. So again, I don't understand why he went to the Hawks. It still annoys me that he chose the Hawks over the Bucks. I'm not a Bucks fan or anything like that. I just think it was a bad career move. But if we look at the Golden State Warriors, I actually really, really like this fit, based on the fact that a lot of people have a lot of people have been saying that there's reports that the Golden State Warriors could actually go out and bring in a player like Victor Oladipo, which I'm not hugely a big fan of, just based on the fact that I don't like the three guards in the lineup for the Warriors. And what I mean by this is they were going to experiment having Steph Curry at point guard, Klay Thompson at shooting, or at small forward rather, and D'Angelo Russell at shooting guard, and that just wasn't going to work. D'Lo proved that he can't really guard the two, and there's no way now that Klay Thompson, who's done an ACL and Achilles injury, there's no way he's going to be able to come back and guard the small forward position at the 6'5" height that he is, and play against players like LeBron James, Tobias Harris, etc. It's just not going to work, in my opinion. I don't think that he really should, again, the Golden State Warriors rather should really go ahead and make this deal. But in my opinion, I actually really do like Bogey for the team, as Bogey, when he wants to be, can be a pretty good perimeter defender. I mean, that's what he's been known for most of his career. He has been sometimes an inconsistent perimeter defender, but when he's on, he is on. He can be pretty good at it, but he's known for mainly his shooting as well. He's often been able to play the wing position with ease, shooting guard and small forward. Again, 39% in his first season, 36% and 37%. And again, 36 and 37% might not sound like elite numbers, but he's doing that on very, very high, a very, very high percentage in terms of how many shots he is taking. Like, we look at last season, he actually took 441 shots, which is absolutely crazy. The volume of his shooting is just insane. So again, I really would like him to go to the Golden State Warriors. I think it'd be a really good fit, as I believe he'd be able to guard the small forward position and be kind of like a Harrison Barnes type of player for them. Even though I feel like Andrew Wiggins is doing that role really good, we all know that Bogey is quite a bit cheaper than what he is. I mean, we look at Andrew Wiggins, his contract is about $30 million per season. It's absolutely crazy. I think it's really insane, but I believe, yeah, Bogdan Bogdanović will be playing on an $18 million per year type of deal, which I believe the Bucks were offering similar money, about $20 million. I think the Bucks should still actually go ahead and trade for him, but it's just the issue of he probably doesn't want to play there if he didn't go there the first time, so you might want to stay away from a player that doesn't want to be there. But again, that's how I see that. But if we're looking at the Golden State Warriors, a trade that I feel like would actually be kind of good for both teams would actually kind of be Andrew Wiggins going to the Atlanta Hawks. I actually believe the Atlanta Hawks having Wiggins would be a pretty good idea. You can say that he would hurt Cam Reddish and DeAndre Hunter's kind of development. I could potentially see that, but DeAndre Hunter's playing his consistent 31 to 32 minutes per game. Cam Reddish is playing his consistent 29 minutes per game. But if we look at players like, Kevin Huerter, who's playing 31.6 minutes, Danilo Gallinari, who is playing about 24 minutes per game, and Bogdan, who's playing about his 23, I genuinely believe a lot of these players will most likely be shopped. I feel like Bogdan will probably be getting traded, Gallinari will probably be getting traded, because they don't really work, with this team. I also believe that Huerter could potentially get traded, and a team in free agency is probably going to offer him a bit of money, and he's probably going to go there, because I believe the Hawks are kind of locked up in money with all of these contracts that they've kind of go ahead and signed. You could say that getting Andrew Wiggins would lock them into money even more, but I kind of look at it like this. If you let Huerter walk in free agency, trade away potentially Bogdan Bogdanović and, of course, Danilo Gallinari, straight away right there, I believe Gallinari's on about 18 million. Of course, we know that Bogey is now on about 18 million. That's about 36 million you save right there. Plus, you can get a couple probably protected rather, first round picks. You also see Tony Snell. He's on about a $7 million deal. I believe, he's going to go and he just not be back with the team. I think Rajon Rondo is on about a $7 million deal. It's reported they're going to trade him. That's another $14 million right there. So again, at the end of this trade period / free agency, they could have another $50 million to go and spend. And again, what I would do is, I think Andrew Wiggins would be a great player for this team. I think that Danilo Gallinari was a bad signing, and the reason why I say Gallinari is a bad signing is because even though Cam Reddish most likely can't really guard the power forward position, I honestly believe if you got a center like Clint Capella, who's just a very good, rim protector and whatnot, I honestly believe, why not put Cam Reddish at the 4 and see how he does? Cam Reddish is 203 centimeters tall. He could be very capable of playing the 4. I think he'd be able to guard, a lot of players in the league. And if he, again, got enough experience, could guard players like Pascal Siakam, etc. Why not go with a starting 5 that looks like that? Like, that team would be lethal if you have Trae Young at point guard, Hunter at small forward, Wiggins at shooting guard, maybe Reddish at power forward, Capella at, center, while off the bench you could have, again, that would be just a rotation. I mean, if John Collins walks in free agency, that would just be like that. But again, if John Collins doesn't walk in free agency, I could see them, potentially rolling out, Cam Reddish to come off the bench. But then Reddish could play maybe shooting guard, small forward, and even if they want to chuck him in a small ball power forward. And especially as well, when you got Onyeka Okongwu, him and Reddish would be a pretty small duo, but it would be kind of interesting to see. I think that Okongwu deserves more minutes as well, and I feel like, again, Gallinari is just really kind of taking up those minutes. So it is a pretty interesting kind of situation when it does come to that. I'm really interested to see how they're going to go. What the trade would probably be is like Andrew Wiggins for Bogey and maybe a couple of seconds. I think that, again, some people might say that the Hawks would actually have to get picks back because the Warriors would get rid of the bad contract. But I think people would really underrate Wiggins. He's averaging about 18 to 20 points per game, which is still pretty decent. And then Bogey can barely get on the court, and he's only averaging about 10 points per game. So his trade value is really not that high. But I would really like to see a starting five, maybe that included, who knows, Steph Curry at point guard, Klay Thompson at shooting guard, Bogey at small forward, Draymond Green at power forward, James Wiseman at center. It'd be a kind of interesting, a team that they could potentially roll out. But of course, I'd very much like to hear all of your thoughts and opinions on this down below. Do you guys think that the Golden State Warriors should, of course, maybe go ahead and trade for, Bogdan Bogdanović? Do you guys think they shouldn't? Do you guys think the Atlanta Hawks should trade him? Again, I'd definitely really like to know all of your thoughts and opinions on this down below. But of course, don't forget to subscribe to my gaming channel and my IRO/long channels if you haven't already. Don't forget to check out my podcast as well, which will be linked in the description down below. But as I was saying, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.